sight, the old gods granted me a vision of the way to change reality. In the shadows creeping, can't rest your weary head. No time for you to sleep now, or evil it will spread. So gather all your friends and listen to my tale. Adventure story shaping the magic and the veil. Dragons, devils, demons, and creatures that I fear, and heroes of the north. Just please don't be scared. The heroes are the monsters to the enemy. It all depends upon the way that you perceive. Original GM, we're here to set you free. Come join in the adventure. Who you wanna be? Who you wanna be? We are we are
Welcome back to Original GM. I am Hoopahu, once again joined with Chikala and Machi. Are we ready?
Yeah.
We're going to get right with it with the high-level characters. Still part of the Beacon Exodus, so here we go. Zira, you are within the council chambers in
Okay.
Mirabilia. You'll be there for a while. The rest of the party has gotten together and all met on Lily's ship, on the Beetle. As you can see, you guys are all in the Beetle, including Aryz and Gordon, who tell you right away that Gordon tells you, he says, I'm going to take Aryz with me and we're going to go get the other ship when we get to Beacon. So just when we get there, we'll be going and getting that and a few other things that I've got to collect.
Okay.
I don't want to go alone. I'll take her. It's cool with you.
Yeah, of course.
I need your help. So.
Okay.
All right. So, Cecilia tells you you're there, you know, almost instantly when you leave, and once you get out of Mirabilia, she jets over to Beacon. She goes up pretty high, high enough that you can actually see a collection of dragons or things flying in different locations. Up by the stone circle in the northern peak forest, way up there, you see what actually looks like some sort of stronghold. It's way in the distance and there are lights. It's nighttime. And you can see the dragons moving here and there because of the moonlight and because of the lighting there, that there's some sort of dragons up there in that area. You guys know that to be the area that was a Temple to Gold Star. Right underneath a huge druid circle, if you recall.
Yeah.
So you'll see that on your way. You make it to Beacon and you can see the Exodus is still taking place, that there are still people in the city. There are a line of people where the Temple of Nera used to be. There's actually two lines of, and it looks like they're grouping up together. to be around 50 people or so that are going through these portals. And then the rest of the city, you know, the lights are not as lit up as they normally are in the houses and things like that, but the city is bright when you get to it. All the lights are on. Billy, you're not in the cockpit right now. You're down with everybody else. So Cecilia's taking care of it. So you hover above Beacon. Gordon will reach out to grab your hand.
I'll take it.
You guys teleport. On the ship, Cecilia tells you that she doesn't see any draconic activity or anything like that. The streets are pretty empty. The soldiers, it looks like maybe the city watch with a skeleton crew of soldiers laying the castle walls in different places, but you can tell they're not there to defend it. It doesn't look like there's enough there, you know, very few and far between. You do see the riders, and they are, and what I mean by riders are the Griffin riders, and you see them all at the top of the castle and all around where those huge continual lights are going out. They're standing on the castle there, mounted, and you see some of them patrolling the city here and there from tower to tower. So they're actually active in the air, which is strange. They usually don't come out unless something's going on, but you know why they're there. So that's going on. The gates of the city are wide open, and there's what looks like a skeleton crew down at the gates as well. And people are leaving out those gates. So. She asks if you want her to go down towards the keep or where you want her to go.
Well, I committed us to picking up at the hero's headquarters on the hour, every hour.
Okay.
So I don't know, you know what I mean? It looks like people are going through the Temple of Nera's portals, that we should still be there and check.
If they're still lining up, then they're not getting them done as quickly as we need to.
Okay.
You know, we can hold a good, decent amount of people, so we'll go down there.
Okay.
She flies down right above the hero's headquarters and just kind of levitates there. And you see there aren't hardly any people there at all. And you're going to have to figure out how to tell people to come to that location. So yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just pick up the people who are there and then head over to...
There's nobody there. Like
Okay.
there's
Nobody.
It's empty. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like empty in that section of the city. When you come down, let's do this. Come down right here over the hero's headquarters, and there you don't see anybody. And the docks, you can see people moving a little bit around by the docks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, a few soldiers up here, but nobody within this district that you can see.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty dead. When you were coming down, you could see that the Dwarven section had people moving in it, and the Temple section had people moving in it, as well as the docks. The Orcish city is dead. You see no movement. You look over there, and there's no movement at all. Nobody's in that area at all. There's no fires, there's no nothing. She asked you what you want to just go over to the Temple of Nera, she says? Okay, so she scoots over the top of the castle area and you guys pass over it and come back down. And you see Tuffy and Alex standing there, and they're holding up portals. They're holding up dimensional folds, huge dimensional folds that groups of people are walking through. On the other side, you can pretty much guess it's Mirabilia, you know.
Right.
And you see various people all around in this area. She lands, and she'll open the door.
And go out.
Okay. All right. You see two different groups of people lined up that are going next. And you see this woman, and this woman. Dressed in drab clothing, walk up to you with their hands like this down to the side. When you walk down out of the ship,
Myra's with me?
Myra's with you. Gorgain and Hedda would be with you.
Okay.
And that's about it directly with you right now. The others are in the ship, but they didn't come out right immediately. But you four walk out and you see the bitch of pain. And you see the bitch of battle, the one that took Zira's hand, standing there like this with the symbol of drow peace. No weapons, no nothing. Heads up. They kind of lower their heads when they walk up, and then they walk towards you, looking at you, and then they stop. And then you see them both do this, and they hold their hands out like this. She smiles. She goes, "We have come to surrender." Gorgain kind of looks at you, and he's like, "Is this who I think it is?" She goes, "Yes." Valakorsai, princess, queen of the north. She's still holding her arms out like this, and he kind of like looks at you confused, like, what the fuck do we do? Like,
Is this some sort of joke?
I wish it was.
What's happening right now?
Hopefully you will speak with me and we can discuss terms. If you have no need to chain us, then we will simply just stand here. She puts her hands down, and the other girl does the same. And the other girl, you see her looking behind you and stuff, like she's expecting to see Zira, like she's, you know.
She looks scared.
No,
No.
no. Determined. Following orders.
Why?
She looks right at you. She goes, "You are the one they call Lily, the one I spoke to
And?
many months ago. I wish that we would have had a correspondence then. Perhaps lots of this could have been avoided." We have one request. And if this request is met, then many boons will be given you, including the boon of peace towards the Dragon Queen, which includes all her minions. Perhaps you have somewhere we can talk. Gorgain's still unsure. You can look at, he's looking at you like, what do we do? Hedda is like,
Right. Right. Lily will telepathy her
okay.
and say, "We can talk right here."
She kind of looks around and she goes, "You mean here in the head?" In your head?
Yes.
Very well.
Just include my cohorts. And she would say that to everyone.
You will need to contact Aryz, for she has the key. And she just looks at you. Our request is simple. I must be allowed to use the door of choices one time, and in return, I will call off the Soul Eaters. I will make sin and dim, as well as the greater and the lesser, and the secret six, all your allies, and the army of Takesis and Tiba. She's known by many names. The One. We will befriend you and become your allies to stop the great destruction, the great ash that is coming. What we have been doing since the beginning. The God of the sun, the God of light, the God of gold, Bahamut himself, the pure one, the blinding light. There is no place for you in his world. He will burn it all to ash, using the minions that follow him, and they are great in number. There is a war coming, but we are not your enemies. We learned that the Chosen One and the Protector will come from this city. What we did not realize is we divinated on the wrong ones. What came to us was a vision of Velia, my daughter, and her friend Ray. But the two of them are not connected to the magic of Bahamut. They are connected from something that is hidden, that we cannot see. But the truth of the matter is they are not our enemies. It is what is seen that is the enemy of all mankind, of all existence. He wants to purify everything, and you are in his path, as well as us. Now we have attempted to spread our forces to protect this world up to this point, but you have not allowed us. Now we offer them in sincerity. Perhaps deals can be made to save the city of Beacon and others. It will go to war. That you cannot stop from happening. As we speak to the north, there lies the city. And this city, and we call it Rax, and it is new. So I'm going to zoom down on the shell map right here.
Okay.
And so right there where the stone circle was is Raxamal. And he tells you that is the capital of Bahamut's forces. He's right on top of you. He's right there.
Right by Mirabilia.
Right by, Mirabilia is on the other side of the mountain range. Between you are two huge mountain ranges. It's a distance, probably a full day's ride, I would guess, which is relatively close.
Right.
But the fact that it's up in mountains and you're up in mountains, makes it a little bit farther. But nonetheless, it's just north of where the cabin was, where the dragon orb was hatched, where Gordon hatched the egg. Outside the game. So she looks at you. At that point, she says, "Is Gordon here?"
He'll be here in a moment.
She nods.
So, you're telling me that everything that we've been taught, everything that we've learned about you is not true?
No, I'm not telling you that. For me, the end justifies the means. And of course, there are many of you that question my means. But my means now are the means of willing to work together. Our destruction has always been based in stopping this world from being destroyed. You see, yes, it is our design to own and control as much as possible. course, to protect ourselves. There are more political things involved. Those are the things that I wish to speak of, but there are things of plainer nature that you must know. The heroes of the North, though they have been our enemy, there is no need to continue that any further. The connection of being an enemy was never solid by our means. You must understand, I am queen. And she looks right at you, deadpan-faced. It is my rightful heir to be queen. And if you know, and you search, and you study, you will know this to be true. So you're gonna get what looks to be somewhat emotional. And you see the bitch of battle raise an eyebrow and kind of look at her like, what the fuck? And she, like, starts to tear up, and she says, I am the last living of my family, other than my children. And I do not want to see them mourn.
Telepathy, Gordon.
Okay, so I need to stop right there. You and Gordon leave.
Okay.
He teleports you, and you're underwater. What the fuck? And there's kind of a current.
Grow gills.
Okay.
So I can breathe.
Okay. You see him stand, he kind of turns and looks at you, and you're floating, his hair is kind of like this. And then you see him grab this chain, and he starts pulling this chain. And you see it goes like down some sort of hallway, and there's water coming at you, and you're like, you're not real sure where you're at exactly. And then around the corner from this chain comes a spell jamming ship, like Lily's. And he's pulling the whole thing in the water, and it just kind of comes, it goes, and starts to float. And he goes over and grabs a hold of it.
I'll go with him.
And he holds your hand, and after it goes downstream a little bit, you guys appear inside. He teleports you.
Make the gills go away.
Yeah, okay. You're on board that ship, and you're like, oh, okay. So he tells you it was hidden under the Druid Circle inside the city. He made a cave
Oh.
down under the Druid Circle. There's this Druid Circle.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to get it out is physically. You can't use magic to get it out. So.
Fucking
Well, that was smart.
And so you're on board, and he goes out the corridor and into the river, and then upriver a little bit, and then you guys take off up into the sky real quick.
So
You
what
head-
do you need my help with?
You start heading north, and it's just a blink of an eye, and you're there. And he's like, "We gotta go in the cabin
Okay.
because
All right.
there's some things we gotta get."
Okay.
But that's not what I need your help with. So, do you want to come with me or stay here? You wanna come with me, right?
Yeah, I'll come with
Grabs
you.
your hand and reaches over to the side and pulls out one of those teleport rods
Mm-hmm.
from a side chamber and sets it down, and then grabs your hand and you use that, so he doesn't have to use one. And you guys appear inside the cabin.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing happened here. He goes to a secret door, and it goes down into the basement, and he starts gathering a couple chests and putting them in big bags. He doesn't put them in a bag of holding. He puts one chest, and you recognize this chest as being one of the chests that the city of Beacon gave the heroes of the North.
The spirit chest.
The chest that, yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
And he grabs that and some other things that are hidden here, including a cloak, another cloak,
Okay.
and just various things. And he has you help him get them, and then you guys go back up to the ship, and you shoot across the map all the way over by the black ice and the red lava mountain, way far northeast.
Way up there.
And he teleports you again with the teleport rod. And it's hot. When you appear, you're inside of what looks like a volcano. You're not in lava.
What the
But it's
fuck?
really, really hot.
What?
And he goes, I wanted to introduce you to someone.
Okay.
You see him start to walk into the cave, in the cavern. It's huge.
Follow him.
And he calls out, Hallowed One! And it echoes off the walls. Hallowed. And you're just kind of looking around, and then you see a wall to your right move. From where you were all the way, probably 115, 120 feet, the wall moves. And it's the same color as everything else in here, completely camouflaged. And you see this ancient red dragon come over and just kind of look at you and Gordon and bring its head up to you. Steam kind of rising out. This thing is massive. Humongous. You see Gordon pat him on his neck. Hallowed One, this is Aryz, the one I told you about. You see him kind of turn and look at you, and he kind of puts this weird draconic like grin, but it looks menacing, like he's gonna eat you almost. And he goes, it is a pleasure to finally meet you, my lady.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Oh my goodness.
It is good to see that she did not eat you. And he looks over at Gordon and he kind of stares at him for a second. He's like, yes, friend. And he looks back over at you and smiles. Gordon says he's talking about having a kid. The other kid. Yes, and draconic beings do not work that way. If I would have done that to my maid, she would have eaten me.
I thought I was dead. He
Your
said he gets a
temperament.
pass.
Your temperament is better than hers, for sure. You're lucky. Except for Gordon. Gordon goes, oh, I know. So it's happening, my friend. He goes, yes, it is. They are coming. They are here. Gordon starts telling you about that what he's figured out at this point is that Bahamut's minions are the ones we need to worry about because they're the ones that are going to try to kill us. I don't know about the Dark Queen. I know I was a Dragon High Lord. Luckily, the two of us still hold memories from that. Right, old friend? And he pats him, he's like, yes. Trivial magics. Nowhere near as ancient as my protection. My scales are older than most things that exist. Yes, friend, yes. He kind of looks at you like, you know, it's terrifying.
She's smiling
He's
from
huge.
ear to ear.
He's humongous.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Probably, you would guess near 300 feet or 300 or 400 feet in length, total length, from tail to head. At that point, Gordon says yes, so we need to find a way to figure out what to do. About that point, he stops and gets a message from you.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gordon. It's really not funny.
She
Sorry.
is dumbfounded.
What's up?
The bitch of pain
Yeah.
and the bitch of blades
Mm-hmm.
are standing in front of me asking for peace.
Where?
Right where the Temple of Nera used to be. I came to pick people up.
Gordon looks at you, he goes, we have to go. I will be in touch, friend. He's like, right.
Okay.
He grabs you and you disappear and appear on that ship, and he's like the bitch of pain and the bitch of battle in front of the Temple of Nera, in front of Lily.
What the fuck?
You get there quickly and teleport down. So she's just looking at you, you know, when you say he'll be here shortly and all that. I want you to know that I did not come after Steph. Well, I gave him a ride. He wanted it to appear as though he was your enemy. Or he wanted it to appear as though I was your enemy, not as though he took my deal.
So he's with you? With your minions?
Yes.
What about his family?
They as well. It was a discussion between him and his family, and they came to the agreement. However, that is between you and them. I simply tell you this to let you know that I have not technically done anything against you. Though it may appear, though, that I have. At that point, Gordon appears with Aryz, and she stops and turns and looks at you first, and then looks at Gordon. Gordon raises an eyebrow. You see them standing in front of you. The one that took Zira's arm and the bitch of pain, both of them standing, and they're weaponless and armless. They're like, they seem helpless standing there. Meanwhile, over your shoulder, over them, past them, you see these people in groups that are getting moved through these portals to Mirabilia.
Completely forgot what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gordon's like, why are you here? And she's like, to turn myself in, to make a pact, a peace agreement. Gordon just kind of turns and looks at you for a second, because your conversation was just about
Yeah,
that. He
that.
just looks at you. And he turns and looks back at her. What sort of agreement? I must be allowed, as I told Lily, must be allowed to use the door of choices once. And in return, I'll call off the Soul Eaters, and Sin, and Din, as well as the Greater, Lesser, and Secret Six, and the other minions of Tima will no longer be your enemies, but instead your allies. This is something we must all discuss together. And she goes, I assumed as much. He kind of looks over at Lily. He goes, each left these to you, should we bring her on board? We have cells. I hate to say that, but
You really trust her?
he looks at you and he's like, in this, yes. But do I trust her? No. Do I believe that she's offering this? Yes.
Is this just between them? Can
Yeah.
anybody okay?
No.
And what does she want with the door of choices? If
Ask
we
her.
let her use it, then
Ask her, he says. In your head, ask her when we get in here. Why don't you come inside, Gordon says. He looks at you, but you'll need to ask the captain for permission aboard. And she kind of looks at him funny for a second, and then turns and looks at you, and she's like, permission to come aboard, Captain. She looks over at Gordon like, you fuckface, like making me do that. And
right.
the bitch of battle does the same thing. She says, permission to come aboard. She looks over at Aryz, the bitch of battle does.
Maybe Telepathy Cecilia.
Yes.
Tell her what we're doing. And
Oh, I'm quite aware. I'm watching. I've got you. Just one fucking move and they're in a cell, she says to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You come aboard, Hedda just kind of walks behind with Gorgain. They're kind of blown away. They're not sure what to do.
Right.
And no one else.
How's Myra doing?
Myra's just been watching with a surprised look on her face the whole time. She hasn't said anything. She's not sure what to say, you know.
I'm gonna grab her by the hand.
Okay. She looks at you, smiles.
Come on.
Okay. You guys go in the ship. And you come into that main entry hallway where the cargo hold and all that stuff is. The common area.
Are Raytar and his guys still on here?
So they're normally in the sleeping quarters and in the area Raytar right here.
Mhm.
That's where they're at usually. You don't see them. They're not there. Cecilia, you could ask her. I mean, she would know.
Right. Yeah, not a priority. I was just curious. I'm sure.
So much for getting people on board, Cecilia says to you in your head. I'm sure they can handle it. I think they need more help with convincing some of them to go than actually transport.
We got help on the way for that too, so.
Gordon offers them a seat. They sit down, and he sits down, and he tells the rest of the party, you know, what's going on out loud. Everybody who are there. Tatal is there. Mal's there. Everybody's there but Zira. About this point, Zira, you can leave. You
Okay.
sat through the meeting. We already kind of gamed that out. I told you
Yeah.
what happened, so you kind of have an idea.
I was gonna go get my zombie.
Okay.
Remember, she doesn't know
Temple
what's
of
going
Nera.
on.
You go and
yeah.
get the zombie,
Yeah.
and then what?
Telepathy.
To
Lily.
Lily. Okay.
Like, I'm ready.
Before you pop over here,
Well, I'll need you guys to come get me. But yeah.
you don't have the teleport rod?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Aryz has it.
Okay.
She can go there and then come back. Aryz can.
We are meeting with the Bitch of Pain and the Bitch of Battle.
Excuse me?
They showed up as I was going to the temple, the old temple space, to pick people up. They showed up and are proposing peace.
She just starts laughing in your head. Oh.
So we have them on the ship.
There's no way that's not a trick. There's no way that's not a trap. Are you kidding?
You wouldn't think so, right? But they have no armor, they have no weapons, and they're on my ship knowing that I can lock them down at any
Are
second.
you sure it's actually them?
No.
Okay. Alright.
Gordon seems to be sure.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you before you teleport on here and lose your damn mind.
Yeah, no, that's good, because if I teleported on that ship and nobody told me and I saw the bitch of battle, I'd fucking go after her. That bitch cut my hand off.
I know.
I'm just supposed to sit there and be peaceful? Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. I know. I get it. I feel you. They're proposing peace.
I don't believe that for a single second. Just so you know. But I hear you.
I feel you.
Alright, somebody come get me?
Yeah.
Aryz has the teleport room, but yeah.
You can teleport there and teleport back to the teleport rod here.
Mm-hmm.
And then come back in the room. You tell Aryz?
Yeah. I'll tell them out loud. Zira's ready to meet up with us. Does somebody want to go grab her? You want me to go grab her?
Yeah. That's Aryz. She's not leaving. I'm sorry.
She will, Lily will stand up and start casting
Okay.
out of memory.
Alright.
Teleport without error.
Okay. She appears next to you.
Grab her hand.
I got my.
So you look
My-
over, you see she's got her zombie too with her.
Grab him. Well, he just has to be in the radius.
Right.
Now, right?
With this, yeah.
Mhm.
Ready?
If it was your teleport, you could.
Yeah. Right. But this time I'll pull out the rod.
Okay. Alright. Boom. You're back on the ship. You can actually teleport anywhere you want on the ship if you want to. Like, remember, it doesn't have to go rod to rod. So you come back in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. She wasn't lying. That's what you see sitting there. Gordon says in her head, it's easy.
Her eyes narrow in on the bitch who plays as soon as she sees
She
her.
looks
like,
right at you and she kind of smiles a little bit. Like, I don't know, not like rubbing it in your face.
Right.
But like, my nemesis, you know. Almost like it's challenging, honorable, something. You're not sure what the fuck. You look at her, you don't get the reaction you think you would get from her. She has no animosity towards you. You can tell she just kind of looks you up and down. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Gordon says in your head, easy.
Yeah. Walk in.
So Aryz, you still have the key to the door of choices.
So what is it that you're wanting to do?
That's what Gordon says to you.
Oh, okay.
And what she's asking is to use it once. And in return, we receive the thing she stated.
I want to know what she wants to do. She could do anything.
Lily will ask.
She could do anything if she goes through that door.
Mm-hmm. She goes, I have no problem telling you what I'm using it for. I'm trying to fix time. I need to use it to go to a place called Warkeep. In a grayscale. In the basement. The place where Goldstar dies.
Yeah.
I must use the door to go there. If we do not, then he will still be alive. You understand?
That's why we saw you there.
Yes. We must use the door. And Gordon's like, that was the door of choices? And she goes, theoretically, yes. But it is yet to happen. She looks at you. We will be eliminating an enemy, a powerful one, immediately. Gordon's like, oh, fuck. This is... I think we should talk to some people, find out that this is... You know what I mean? He just kind of looks at her. You're giving us your word, but...
Telepathy to Talda. Is she telling the truth?
we should define all this. And she says yes. She has no protections on, she tells you. I can see right through her.
So, Aryz would say in their heads, not the bitch of hand, but in their But in the part he says, you know, you can unlock the door for her, but I'm not giving her the key.
That's fair, Gordon says. That's fair. If we decide to do that, we should discuss this.
For sure.
I don't trust her, but we might need her. I mean, we not only eliminate her, but all the men. You know, that's a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm.
My son is no longer our enemy. That's something else to do.
Who else do you want to bring in on it?
The rest isn't going to tell us anything. Maybe the Temple of Nera.
Yeah.
He looks at Aryz.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know.
unless telling them something, at that point you hear the bitch of pain say, I know what you're discussing right now from our divinations, and I will tell you this, that it will change outside knowledge and change time if you are to ask too many individuals, especially those of powerful nature, beings that have the ability to change time. I'm attempting to fix it so that this circle and cycle continues and this world is not turned to ash. We can wait till a later date, I suppose, when things get bad and you realize that what I have said is true. But I would prefer for us to be allies now. And regardless of what you do with me, this world will turn to ash if you don't do the things that need to be done. As your queen, whether you hold the right to say that in your own heart or not, my bloodline was meant for this. And that is why I have faith coming to you unarmed, that history will transpire as it should, because I have faith. So, Tatal's like, yeah, she's telling the truth, man. Mal's kind of got an eyebrow raised, but he's not saying much.
What do you think, Lily? Aryz would say that in your head. What do you think?
That's a lot.
You know, if we could have her as an ally, that would change everything.
It would. And, you know, I gotta tell you, Myra and I had a conversation earlier today about why. Why does everything have to be destroyed? Why does this seemingly inevitable prophecy come to pass? And my question was, why aren't the good guys showing up to have our back and to help save not only like
Right.
the
Well,
continent,
They're
but
dragons. They don't care about us. We're not
You guys are talking about this in your head or out loud?
in our head.
Okay.
They're dragons. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not human, they're not elven, they don't care
They don't.
what happens to us.
And according to what she said, their only goal is to purify.
Ask
all
Durza,
women.
Gordon says. That's who she is.
Durza?
Yes.
I'll ask her.
He nods at you.
Should I tell her everything?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. Hey, Durza,
Yeah.
can I have a minute?
Sure.
I need your wisdom. She'll kind of giggle. So,
If you plant a seed, it'll grow. She says to you.
well, you'd be the person to come to for that, wouldn't you?
Life eats on life. There's another one for you.
So I'm standing here in front of the Bitch of Pain and the Bitch of Blades, and they are offering a peace treaty if we let them use the Door of Choices one time to go back and to make sure that Cold Star is killed. And we don't know if it's a good idea or not. It doesn't seem that she's lying. Tatalda can't pick up any lies off of her.
Okay. Slow down. Let me get this straight. You're in front. Where are you, first off? Physically.
On the ship?
What? Oh. Okay. And she's on there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better. What are you asking me? If you should let them use the Door of Choices, you can stop them from using it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a key.
A key?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good knowledge to know. Tell me about that and I'll answer your question. There's a key to the Door of Choices?
There is.
And there's only one?
Yeah.
And you possess it?
Yeah.
So like you have the power of all the world in your hands.
Yeah, I do.
To change anything.
For sure.
That's a lot of power. I hope you know how to use it wisely.
Me too. So, herein lies why I'm asking for your wisdom. She'll kind of giggle. Gordon said to ask you.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
Bitchy Payne's just sitting there. She's kind of looking around at everybody.
She knows we're all telepathy.
Yeah, she's just kind of looking around at everybody, and then she kind of looks at the ship, looks up and a little bit at the ship. I know you have no reason to trust me, she says to Gordon. Matter of fact, you got reason not to trust me. But perhaps some of your divination may work if you use it correctly. If you see through divination that what we say is true, that is what we're going to do. You remember seeing us there, do you not?
I do.
And it was the two of us.
It was.
We have come to seal time, to seal the circle, to fix that which was broken. She raises an eyebrow, kind of looks over at Aryz, looks at Gordon, then Zira. I come as a friend, I come to help as an ally. And I might add, with Tiamat's blessing, I come. You are all allies, if you wish to be. Gordon clapping his ears like, you can ask, can't you?
Yeah.
What'd you ask?
Ask what exactly? Question of all demonators. What do you want me to ask?
What's the general outcome of allowing them to do this?
It's yes or no.
As a general outcome of us allowing her to do this, gonna be worse for us? How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that's what she'll ask.
No.
No. The answer's no.
It's gonna be better for us.
She will.
The
Gonna
answer's
be
yes.
better for us?
The answer's yes.
Yes.
Does Nera want us to allow her to do this?
Mm.
That's what I would ask. So how are you doing this again?
My orb.
Okay. So you're asking from your orb?
Yeah. The one that is now directly connected to Nera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask that.
Does she want us to do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
That sells me on it. Nera said she wants us to do this, so
Me as well, Gordon says.
that's my answer is yes.
Any opposition? He looks around. Cecilia, can you drop us off at the nest? Yes. Ship moves up to the top where the nest is. Levitates right outside the nest, and the stairs open up, and Gordon says, "This way." He looks at Aryz.
I'll walk. I go with them.
Okay. Guys go into the nest.
I take Myra.
Okay. Yeah, Myra will go too. She kind of looks at you funny. She's like, yeah, if you're ever going around this door again, I want you to bring me, okay?
Exactly. I don't want you to not remember like last time.
Gorgain and Hedda, Tatalda, Mal, and all of them come. Knowing what they know now, they all come. So you guys go through the door of the nest, and you come to the inside, and it's empty. There's nobody in it. Walk in the nest, like I said, it's empty, completely empty.
The rest isn't here.
No, he's not here. You guys walk in, and Bitch Pain kind of looks around. It looks different, she says. The Bitch Blades nods. She says, I loved your concert, by the way. She turns and looks at Aryz. You are a being of great inspiration. I love how you look like a natural girl from next door, but at the same time, the power that you possess through magic, voice, and music is so overwhelming that even I myself were taken back. She kind of turns at that point and looks around, and the bitch of Blades looks at you, and you see her kind of bow like that, and then turn and look back.
Unexpected.
She goes, it's over here, isn't it? And she walks behind the bar and goes right to where it is.
I'll walk over there.
You see the rest appear in the corner. And he turns and looks at her, and he kind of just eyeballs the bitch of Blades like that. It's the first time you've ever seen him turn his physical body towards someone.
Yeah.
And he goes, he makes a noise. And he starts speaking in Japanese to her. And she replies back very respectfully and holds her head down the whole time and never looks at him. And you can tell he is insulting her or doing something. Sounds insulting. And then you see him stop, and then he goes back, and then he starts to hit the pipe, and then you see her look back up. And she doesn't look at him, but she looks back up. The bitch of pain, while all this is going on, is watching Aryz as Aryz is walking up, and she smiles at you.
Smile at her.
You are such a beautiful enigma. I have to tell you, I've seen much greatness in my time. You are in the top of it all. Everything about you. I'm honored to be in your presence. Thank you for the gift that your people gave us. The use of magic.
Smile.
You may consider me an ally, regardless of whether this was going to happen. I never met you.
Thank you.
Gordon's just kind of standing there, like looking uncomfortable. He's like, Bella. And she stops and kind of turns and looks at him. We agreed to do this, but you cannot have a key. Aryz will have to open the door for you. Of course, it works in the fashion that you think of where you're going. But I would request that you take Tatalda with you. She can be hidden as though we would not have seen her anyway. You see the bitch of pain kind of like, what? Like she's got this look like, what? And he turns and looks at Tatalda and she steps forward and she goes, it's okay, dear. Lots of people require chaperones. She winks at her. You see the bitch of pain kind of smile and she's like, then you see Tatalda disappear. She just kind of looks over at you and she goes invisible. You just can't see her. What the fuck?
She would say to her, I can leave the door open until you come back through.
Please do.
She'll step up to it.
The bitch of blades, when you say that, she stops and kind of looks at you like, oh.
Oh, I could lock them in.
Yeah,
just realized
like
I could
she looks
lock
at
them
you
in
kind of
there.
with this look like, oh, fuck. And then she looks away.
Uh-huh. Takes trust on both sides.
You see the bitch of pain just step up to the door, you unlock it.
Mm-hmm.
She steps up to the door and she goes, please do not be alarmed. You see her kind of close her eyes for a moment and she reaches out and touches the bitch of blade's hand and you see equipment appear on them. All their equipment.
Mm.
And she slowly opens the door. And you think back, you remember they were wearing equipment.
Mm-hmm. They were.
And you see the bitch of blades pull out her weapons, which when you guys saw her last, they were blades, but they were weird. They like came out like switchblades, really quick, but they were swords in her hand. When she pulls them out now, you see them. They're like a tonfa.
Mm-hmm.
Have a blade that goes in both directions on both of them, and they can be spun.
Mm.
When she pulls them out, they're a long sword though, but she does this and it goes like that on both blades and she spins them. And you recall seeing she had that when you guys saw her. And they go through the door. Come right back. It is done. Time is fixed.
Where do we go from here?
I'll step up and lock the door.
We reveal to you that which we know. If you don't mind, I would like to bring a colleague. Wherever the location is that you'd like to go, it's fine. It does not have to be here.
Step up and lock the door.
Okay. Tatalda kind of goes like that to you.
Yeah, I
and
figured
walks
she
past
was
you. You're
there.
like, oh.
Yeah.
She pats you to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
You see Hedda go like this and he pulls up his gem, kind of scratches his eye, but He's terrible at sleight of hand. He's no thief.
Yeah.
You see him like kind of
Trying to be
like
slick.
that, like kind of like he's playing with his junk, adjusting his junk or something, and then he pulls out the gym and kind of goes like this, kind of looks around. Very obvious. You see him kind of glare a little bit, and he like moves like this, like there's nothing there, but he's following something, and he stops over at Gordon, and then he's like. Puts it back up. Gordon's not even looking at it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even see that this happens, but you two, you're standing right there. As you turn around, you see it. And then Tataldo appears, and she's completely away from Gordon when she does now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Hedda kind of like. Tataldo just kind of looks at him funny for a second. Roll an observation.
Okay.
I'm going to make you roll it half because you were watching Hedda.
So Lily's standing back, just watching
can roll.
everything.
You can roll, but it's halved.
Zira got it, Aryz did not. Even half Zira got it.
Wow, yeah, it's a 25.
It's a 25 intelligence. Ha!
I saw it all.
You see Gordon go like this in one of his bags, and he kind of stuffs what you see the top of as a black gem into his bag, and then just kind of pull the thing tight. You both see it. Aryz doesn't. Aryz like looking at the bitch paint and the bitch battle, and the bitch paint. So here is fine, I suppose. She says. There's a lot going on. She's like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want my people attacked, if you know what I mean. My people are your people now. Perhaps there's something should be done that everyone knows that. I'm not sure how that would happen. Perhaps the Temple of Tiamat within the city, the Mirabilia. If not there, perhaps Beacon. Gordon's like, that would be quick. And she goes, yes, it would. It would be like an embassy of sorts.
Zira?
You could do the same in Warkeep, perhaps for Nera.
Zira would say that would have to be discussed with the council.
Of course. And Gordon goes, and then there's St. James. And she just kind of looks at him like, really? We are inclusive here in the city of Beacon. I don't know about Mirabilia, how that would, go over. Most of the people are probably thinking that we're hiding from you, not who you say we're hiding from.
And not only that, but Mirabilia is specifically a city that's ran by Nera. It is.
Well, then we have no problem, she says, and looks at you. She goes,
It is.
Nera, and what she wishes and wants is almost identical to that of Tiamat. Some say the sphere of revenge was shared between them. It was long ago when Tiamat's children killed her lover. Things like that are not easily forgotten.
Or ever.
Yes.
Zira would say, give me just a moment. And she would kind of step away.
So you realize what she just said. If that's true, like what she's telling you is history you have no recollection or knowledge of whatsoever. What she's bringing to the table may fill in a lot of gaps for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. About that point, the door opens and the bitch of battle comes in.
Not blades, but battle.
Right.
Yeah. So Zira
I
is
think-
going to.
Let me pull her up.
I think
Go
we
ahead.
flipped the names earlier
We may have.
on accident. I think
The
we're-
bitch of blades is the one that comes here, and that's the one that's been here.
Yeah.
And that's her, right? No,
No, it's
That's the bitch
reversed.
of battle.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, there I go doing it. So there's the bitch of blades, and there's the bitch of battle. They're
Okay.
very similar, and then the bitch of pain, of course. They all are dark-headed. And you know the bitch of blade or the bitch of pain, her eyes are piercing blue like Valia's in theirs, and Gordon's. And the bitch of battle, she's her eyes are normal, brownish, deep brown color. Got a little hazel on the bottom of it where the light hits it, and then the other girl's kind of got hazel, bluish hazel looking eyes. The bitch of battle comes in and she bows to the bitch of blades. They bow to each other, like full on bow. And then she turns to the bitch of pain, Vala, and salutes her like this. And Vala returns the salute. But the bitch of blades doesn't salute. They do something different. And she goes, proper introductions. Affectionately known as the bitch of battle. She kind of holds her hand out like that. This is Princess Skrilla.
Say again?
It's Princess Skrilla. It's written up there. Princess Skrilla, NG. N apostrophe J, capital J, E. NG. 3 letters. NG. Roll, let's see. Legends and lore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aryz.
NG is on the northern coast of Lopa, where the Celestial Emperor is. It's a name of a city. You've seen it on the map. And she's definitely Eastern.
That's where what's his name? The god King Anjok
Yeah.
rules
and then,
from?
Yeah, and then she introduces the Bitch of Blades, Princess Razor Anjok. And your mouth falls open, probably, because you realize this is the daughter of the Celestial Lord. So there are 3 bitches, as they call them, here in the room with you, or well, yeah. Can I open these on another tab?
I didn't get the first one. Right. Okay. Yeah, Skrilla. NG?
Yeah, Princess NG, Skrilla NG. They're princesses, both of them. When she introduces you to them, she introduces you to them as princesses. They're nobility in the East. And they nod and greet you. Like the other one, this one turns to the rest, kind of lowers her eyes a little bit and bows. And he just continues to hit his pipe.
He doesn't do anything.
No,
or
he
like
doesn't do anything in return, and she just kind of turns from him and then greets you all. She says, "It is a pleasure to meet you. I hope that our union is peaceful and profitable for both." The one thanks you directly. see Bitch Pain kind of look over at you when she says that. That's about her.
Oh yeah. It's the one. It's, yeah.
She turns and she says, "We of the East, and his celestial lordship of light, see Vala Korosai as the queen of the northern empires. It would seem that this country and this land is unique and personal to all of your people. Uniting in one common goal would be beneficial for all of us. For without it, it would be nothing but ash. We fight for existence, whether that existence is for drinking liquor and revelry, or that of poetry and music, or fighting with blood and bone. Whatever it may be, it should exist. The other option is that it does not. That is why we agreed to follow you. And it was left by our queen for each of us to agree or disagree. None have disagreed. She nods at you. You can tell there's this unity, some kind of honor, some kind of, when you look at these girls, these ladies, you're just like, it's as tight as you got. Like, it's in a weird, different way, but there's something there that you recognize.
Right.
That we haven't seen from anybody else.
Right. And then the queen says, "If I may give you but one word of advice that my father gave me. I know that you may not see things the same as what you believe them to be. And that everyone, as my father stated, is the hero of their own story. You are the good guys. It is all perception. Those that you thought were against you are now with you in a common goal to go against those that are seeking purity and the destruction of anything intertwined with color or difference. So, you are a hero of your own story. The story has changed now, for you have learned that perhaps you are not the good guys, but perhaps what you believe is needed. Those that call themselves the good guys will attempt to scour, indoctrinate. With that indoctrination may come nothing but death, because in the end they will seek purity. Those that follow them will eventually die as well.
Goes against everything that we've worked for when we built this city.
We will bring our dragons. We will protect the city as an ally.
Zero at that point is going to telepathy the party and say, "I'm going to step away and telepathy Alexandria and tell her what's going on."
Okay.
She will zero telepathy Alexandria.
All right.
And be like, High Priestess,
Yes.
big news. I don't know if you already know or not, but if you don't, I'd rather you hear it from me than anybody else.
One moment. Okay then. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
That's what she says to you?
Nice.
I understand. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
I think it is a good move. Congratulations. You are a powerful diplomat. Or is it someone else that will be credited with the diplomacy? Perhaps Lily? Who was the one that spoke with him first?
Lily.
Very well. We will credit her with the diplomacy.
They want to put a temple of Tsushima in the city.
I suppose that
And
would
vice
need to
versa.
be voted upon.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
The city of Mirabilia will not allow.
Yeah. I assumed as much.
And if the city of Beacon is still standing, then we will discuss it then.
Okay.
I doubt they want to build and have construction in the middle of this.
Yeah, right?
Yes. But it will change whether or not the city falls if they're going to help.
They are.
What do they offer? And at that point, she said to you, and she rambled it off. You didn't hear it because you're talking to her, but she tells you, she says, we can provide 2,500 dragons, with 50 of them being ancients, and 150,000 troops to the cause of the city of Beacon. Gordon's. She says, I hope that's enough. The majority of the forces, of course, are in Monarch. I know that Beacon is seen as a capital to some around here, and even though Warkeep is where the Queen's throne is, it seems that Monarch is the largest metropolis, and the one with the most power. A friend of me. She just looks over. We have almost, she says, we have almost 9,000 dragons. A few hundred ancients and 3.5 million troops that will protect the city of Monarch. 3.5 million troops.
Yeah.
So you're taking the city over, and she just kind of looks at him. She says, "No. The laws still hold. They have agreed for us to have a temple within the city." You're like, oh shit, they've already zip tied some shit.
They already sealed up Monarch.
You think so? Yeah, but what she's saying, yeah. She looks at you, she goes, I guess it's true about Beacon. You're the last hope.
I think if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it all the way.
Yeah. I agree.
Gordon looks at her. Congratulations, Queen. She just kind of looks at him and smiles and nods. And she tells you that if you would like, the bitch of battle can coordinate the troops, movements, and protections of the city with whomever you need her to. And she just looks at you. You realize she's in charge of the army of Tiamat, the section that they are dividing off for Beacon. She's in charge. And she mentioned 50 ancient dragons.
Yeah, so it was 25, what was it? Okay, I need to write that down.
2,500
You, like, totally drived
dragons
me.
in total, with around 50 ancients and 150,000 troops. City of Beacon's 60,000 people, so when everybody was there, obviously you've left.
Yeah.
Troops in Beacon, even with everything gone, you knowing about Alex and what he has with the undead army and the Lich, occupation X that he still has
So
control
that
of.
would be who?
That's about 120,000. Those undead.
Okay.
So it's more than the undead that would be in the city. Not more than if you kept all your troops there as well.
Right. So Alex might be the person to talk to about this.
Might be. Alexandria is meanwhile still talking to you. She says, "How much are they offering?" And you look back and you can hear them talking about those things.
She'll tell her 2,500 dragons with 50 ancients and 150,000 troops per beacon. It seems they've already made alliances in Monarch, and they've got that city locked down too. She's asking if
Do you
we
give her
want-
those numbers too,
Who?
Alexandria?
Yeah.
Monarch?
Yeah.
33.5 million. And,
Yes.
Okay, and all
Yes. She's asking if we want the Bitch of Battle to help organize those troops that she's gonna send.
Mm.
So should I have her coordinate with Alex?
that. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I can send him that way.
Okay.
Well, not send him, ask him.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let her know. She would say out loud, the person we have in charge of organizing the undead that were going to be here when we were gone is going to come and talk with you. She'd look at the Bitch of Battle.
She'll look at the bitch battle and kind of motion her towards you, and then she looks at you and she says, "We have no problem breaking a pact for our agreement to become allies. What is gained from being in allegiance with you is much greater than that of the lower planes. So I offer to you that we will disconnect from the family of Mammon in the lower planes. Consider the sisters, the Shikla, the tribe, an enemy."
Oh, Mom.
Gordon looks at her and goes, "That's awful kind of you.
It is.
For our relations to be built upon something that must work, perhaps there will be some that will need to die or not be included." Gordon said, "Well, no, we didn't say that necessarily." And when here's agreeing to that, of course you have your own choices on what you do. And she says, "Of course I do." And she just looks at him. Now, they can take care of that. Let us discuss things of greater nature. Since we're discussing the lower planes, you should know that we are connected strongly with the lower planes. Yeah, we figured as much. But to judge one plane from another is merely what you produce in those areas. My queen is more concerned about the prime material plane and her connection here and the ability to do what she needs to do here than growing in the lower planes. Even though the first plane of hell is hers, she has no desire to continue to allow something to grow down there. All of her focus is here on the prime. So what is there is there. What needs to be cut off will be cut off. We see Mammon as one of those things. It is not just for you, Zira.
I figured as much.
But I can certainly understand how it is helpful for you. And now you have access to members of our organization that can hunt and do other things. I'm sure they will look forward to working with you. As one queen to another. I am Hedda just kind of steps up to her and he goes, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question?" She looks at you. "Do you hold to the old gods of the Nera?" She just stops and thinks for a minute. "I follow that which I know will stop the world from turning to ash. That is what I do." She looks at him. Kind of a general answer, but all right, lass. Walks in. Gorgane's just standing back there. He's watching all of it. He hasn't really said anything.
He's been quiet.
Mal's just kind of in the background with a smile, kind of going back and forth. Yes.
Yeah.
Tatalda's kickback.
Chilling.
Yeah. Look at her. She's got some kind of wineskin out that she's been drinking, putting on the table. Myra's just sitting there watching it all. Kind of eyeballing the bitch of blades, Myra is. She's got her eye on her. You've noticed it too. A couple times you looked at her and she's just looking at her. It doesn't seem like it's noticed by the bitch of blades though.
She's just watching her.
Yeah.
Good.
And they're all armed. Like, they're in front of you and they're armed. And so, the bitch Pain is in plate mail. That's what you see her in. She's in plate mail.
Right.
With a two-handed sword that's on her back. No helmet. Still very charismatic, even though she's in this armor.
I am so stunned right now. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Right?
You got me. Like, I did not think.
It's not what I thought was going to happen when we started this game.
I'm like so stunned. I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that the character that we have been after for 2 years is standing in front of us and we're making allies with her. I just can't.
I just can't. Yeah.
Sorry.
So it seems like they're bitch of battle and they're standing off to the side. And it seems like, so Alex comes in and you see them start to talk. Like Alex comes in, nods at everybody. It's like, he looks at your abomination and looks back at you in your hand and he smiles really big again.
He looks so pleased
He does.
with
He
himself.
does. And he walks up to the bitches and just kind of looks at him and then nods at him and then looks at the bitch of blades and she says, "I'm the one that we should coordinate."
Battle.
The military. And he's like, there are others. I make the decision, but I have advisors. Why don't you come with me? And she kind of looks at him funny for a second and then shrugs her shoulders and nods to you guys. And Alex takes her out. He nods at you guys and out he goes out the nest. The queen's like, "Seems very, very easy. Do you mind if we have a seat?"
No, go ahead.
She sits down. One of the tables where there's 4 chairs. So the other bitch of blades goes and sits down next to her. She says, "Really, whoever is king or queen of the north, they have a responsibility, truly a responsibility, in their blood to do what is right. I will leave her here with you and send for a few others to come and protect the city. I will be needed in modern. It is a massive battle, or will be. I have a feeling that it will all happen at once. They will not attack one specific location alone. Their numbers are massive. Do not know if Mirabilia is known about as a target. Even if it were, it would seem like a place to distract their troops. It would be difficult to enter or do any damage to. Quite wise on Nera's part. Placed relatively close to their stronghold, but impenetrable. Under the earth. There are catacombs in the west, but nothing quite like that, except for the ancient mountains. Tombs of the elder gods, places of that nature. Quite protected.
Right?
I suppose I should go, she says as she smiles. She says it seems like too short of a time for us to get to know one another. I know a lot about many of you. It's kind of an embarrassment, honestly. Because for me, it's like watching a play from afar and knowing the characters, but not being able to interact with them, but knowing and seeing what they do. I'm struck.
I know.
She smiles. She
Aryz
smiles.
would giggle when she says that.
I've read many a novel, but none as good as the heroes of the novels. She smiles. Until we see each other soon. Of course, we will remain in contact, and you have every right to contact me. And she looks at all of you. You may speak in the mind.
Thank you.
Of course. She gets up and the bitch of Blades kind of turns towards her and bows towards her, and she nods at her and exits. In the room, the tension that was there behind not the interaction between you and her, but just by the fact that it was going on, just leaves the room like a gust of wind when she leaves. And all that's standing there is the bitch of Blades, who the whole party kind of got into it in the temple with. Like, she was able to get in and out before, but like they've almost been in combat with her, so there's already this weirdness, and she just stands there, and then you see that she feels it. She kind of stops for a moment and looks at everybody, and she kind of smiles slightly.
Lilia laugh out loud.
Okay.
Break the tension.
She laughs. When you do, she laughs, and she goes, "I'm honored to be among you." I don't know who else is coming, but yes, I will make sure that we all get to know one another. Yeah?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am Princess Razor Anjuk. My father is the Celestial One. My father is a god. She just looks at you.
What do you prefer to be called?
Well, I'm the 17th born daughter. Often in our family, over there, it has a different way of being spoken. Inji. That is my last name. For you. Yes.
Inji?
Yes. You may call me Inji.
Very well.
I'm sorry about your arm.
She would look at her and smile and be like, don't be.
Oh, not sorry that it happened. Sorry that you were not capable of stopping it. She kind of smiles at you. If ever you want to learn something, I'm here. And she does that. Gordon says in your head, he's like, this is a cultural thing. She's giving you honor as a warrior, but also offering to give honor from herself to you, to teach you.
Teach me?
Yeah, she just gave you an offer to learn in different ways.
Really?
Yes. If ever you need it, he said, or she said. And she just looks at you, and you don't understand it. Like, you don't, you know, there's honor in the Orcish society, so actually you kind of do, but not in the same fashion. It's different. You don't think she means to like smash, like in the Orcish society, they just smash you, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's kind of, it's different. Anyway, you don't really completely understand it, but it intrigues you a little bit because the honor that's involved with it,
Right.
from the Orcish culture. It's not something that you do, but you've seen a lot of the males within the orcs do it with one another.
Right.
You had a couple that challenged you, things like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, Gordon tries to explain it to you, but it's hard for you to grasp what he's saying.
Yeah. She'll,
And then he just says, it'd be hard for me to tell you. You just have to spend some time among them. That's what he says.
she would tell her it's very intriguing. Thank you.
She smiles. All right. A few moments later,
Yeah.
the door opens and the other bitch,
Which one?
as they affectionately call one another. That's where that came from. That's what they call one
They
another.
started it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes this one. Princess Mammon.
Did you just say Princess Mammon? I don't know that I need to write that down. I'm gonna forget that.
She would introduce herself to you when she walked in. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. Very intense look in her eyes. Every once in a while, where the blue is, you'll see it go like half black. Her eye will grow from the outside in, and like half of it will be taken over by a blackness, and then it'll go back to her blue eyes again.
What the fuck?
As she walks up, she's holding a wine glass in her hand that's full of a red wine. Looks like a deep red wine.
She's walking
She's
around with a
dressed in a
glass
very
of wine.
tight, skin tight red dragon armor, but it's like miniature red dragon scales. It's so strange looking. You're not. Yeah.
Is it? Oh my god.
And this dress, it's like form-fitting, except when it gets to the hips, and then it goes out in some kind of weird, like black wire that's shaped into what looks like a webbing, and then material under that. And she smiles, and there's a smell that enters the room when she comes into the nest. It automatically smells good, like it makes you all kind of like, what in the world is that? It smells so good. And you realize it's coming off of her. You're like, she smells really good. Like she appears very clean and very, very kept and put together. Whatever that smell is, okay, so you don't describe it to one another, so you don't really know nothing. It's just a smell. Each and every one of you feels like she smells wonderful. That doesn't take you over with initial reaction adjustment or anything like that. Her looks don't either. And she introduces herself. That's Princess Mammon. I am the second-born daughter of Mammon himself. Escaped nigh on 4 years from the lower planes of my father's tyrannical behavior. He's a piece of shit, she says. She takes a drink out of the glass.
Aryz, nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure. I already know who you are. How could you not? You're the most famous person probably on ship, performance-wise. There are recordings of your concert everywhere in the lower plains. Sold, I'm sure, by you, right? She kind of looks at you and turns her head to the side. Oh, my goodness.
Well, thank you for that.
She smiles and she goes, you may not have heard it from me, but you heard it. Goodness. Have fun with that, she says. She's a drink out of the glass.
Her first thoughts, David. Those her first. She's like, you little bitch. Like, we're gonna have a fucking talk. Yup.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So, yeah, she just kind of looks around the room and she goes, I know most of you by legend alone. And it's such a pleasure to finally meet you all. I hear that you have some of the best party favors. And she kind of turns and looks over where the rest is and she's like, who's that? Hello. And he's like, my goodness, is that your father, dear? And she looks at you.
No.
Aryz.
No.
Oh,
What? What?
nothing, I suppose. She takes another drink. You see the rest kind of turn and look up, and his eyes go from the cloud, and he looks at you, and he's like,
They go to the blue.
yeah, and he kind of shakes his head real weird, like, like, no,
Did she just assume that because we have the same eyes? Is that what it was? Like what?
Might have been, because you both had the white
Yeah.
eyes.
Well then.
The bitch Payne seemed to know what you are.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
Maybe
How'd
she does
know?
too. Maybe this girl, maybe she does. Maybe they all do. Maybe they all know.
Well.
Lily will pull out a bag of the lily balm.
Okay. She smiles at you and she goes, it's such a pleasure to meet such a strong woman. And she smiles at you and she goes, you are a pillar. And she smiles. If you were to think of a certain way, I hear you're even friends with, like I have a lot of strength. And she walks right up to you. This is a demon princess.
Yeah. And Lily knows she's possessed.
And you know Glacia. You met Glacia. This is her sister.
She tried to take me home.
This is your sister. This is her sister. She walks right up next to you. And that smell comes over you. And you feel very comfortable in her presence. You're not charmed. You just don't feel like she's going to invite violence in any way. She's very passive. I've heard that you are friends with queens. And she turns and looks at Zero and she says, including her. She nods at you.
Since she was a baby. Load up
Well,
some
paid
old
for it?
thing, yeah.
Okay.
I
Hand it to
always
her.
forget how much older she is.
Gordon gives her a bottle of whiskey. He hands it to her. He's like, here. She's like, oh, well, thank you. So happy to hear that you're well, Lord Vengeance. You see him kind of stop for a second. And he kind of looks over at you guys for a second to see if you heard that. And then he looks back at her and kind of glares, and she goes, oh. Oh. Sorry, Gwen. No worries. And then
Right?
Writing that one down. That'll be a talk we have later.
at this
you know Aryz isn't letting that go.
at this point, you hear a sound of what sounds like music coming from outside the door, but several instruments.
Aryz will walk over,
Okay.
open the door, and look.
You see nothing. It's blank. It's bare. There's just instrument sounds everywhere out the front, like out the door. Just like coming from the air. You like just look around. You don't see anything. Something's got to be invisible. Or it's right in front of you.
Emmett, maybe?
Huh?
Emmett, maybe?
Horns are involved with it, and you can hear some drums, and it's got a beat, man. You're like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. This is Aryz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gordon's like, everything all right? What is it?
There's nothing. There's nobody out here. It's like coming from the air. I don't know.
Dispel it.
Why?
Might be something bad.
Okay. She'll walk out and she'll try to dispel it.
Okay. Go percent dice.
62?
Yeah, whatever it is, stops instantly.
Weird. Worked. Well, it's not Emmett if I was able to dispel it. For sure.
I hear that you know queens and kings, which means you know children, the children of those kings and queens. That is where most of intrigue is located, at least in lower planes. Glacia is my sister,
Mm-hmm.
firstborn. Mammon. I saw to it at a young age to anger her and became an outcast. Possessed by other things not inside the house of Mammon. Immediately excommunicated. Goodbye. It's as if I married some doofus or something. And since then I have been a socialite, is what they say. The Empress of conversation. And that is what they call me in the lower planes. Much better than my sister, and much older than she is in the manner that I have experienced. She's still a princess. Has not found a way to get away from my father and cut the strings, so to say. Nonetheless, I am your ally, I hear, because you are against my family, and that makes me a happy friend. Whatever it is you need, my
Might I ask who you are hosting?
You know, that is quite personal.
It is.
But I understand the fullness of the implications.
So I'm not only speaking to you, I'm speaking to them as well.
Of course, I would need for them to consider that as opposed to me. She nods at you. You see her kind of close her eyes and then open them back up, and they're solid black. And she turns and looks at you and she goes, "Greetings," and you hear 3 or 4 or 5 voices come out of her at the same time.
In common?
"Greetings." Yeah, in common. "We do not fight this vessel. We are merely passengers. It has control of itself." And they all say this in unison. "Nor are we enemies directly to you. Daughter of the Jackal." And it just looks at you. "Your mother is quite known where I come from. She has sent many there. We hear she is different. Commendable with the damage and blood and sacrificing of souls that she did. Commendable. We are controlled by the whims of our own controls. There are 4 of us in here. The 5th one repeats what we say. None are enemies to your house. Her eyes go back and she takes it back over and she goes, "I'm sorry. I didn't know they were going to get personal. Please forgive me. I would not have given them control if I would have known. They are chaotic," she says and looks at you, "but I have control of each of them. It is their benefits that help me endure and have helped me become what I am. Not unlike you." And she looks at Gordon. He just kind of... Then you see Miranda kind of come out of Gordon's body and she goes, "Oh, you're much different." And she goes back in. She goes, of course, no ill intent meant." Gordon says, "Oh, she didn't mean it. I think she likes you." "Then I have done my good deed for the day and befriended some more. What shall we call ourselves? There are no longer 6 of us." She looks over at the bitch of blades and she's like, they have not joined that organization." She goes, "Well, of course they have. It's unspoken. We came up with the secret and greater and lesser 6, not them. So what do we call ourselves now? We'll be working together a lot, as I see it. I'll just let you all think on it. You know, in some aspects, we are also heroes." And she turns and looks at the bitch of blades. She goes, "We are in the north with the queen. Maybe that is a versatile name that will have many chapters about it. An organization, that's how they start. Like the Sentinels. Those that will be coming against us."
Sentinels?
Yes. The armies and minions of Bahamut. They're brutes and press gangs, knocking those unaware unconscious and taking them through indoctrination and capture. Yes. It is coming. But it seems now we are in league with one another, so we will win. Agreed?
I like those odds.
I mean, strong women such as us. Now, we fucking rule the world, do we not?
Yes, we do.
She nods.
I like you, Aryz.
A weird, strange energy in the room with Hedda and Mal and some of them. They're kind of like, even Myra's just kind of like taken aback. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, but they're all kind of just like, what the fuck is happening? And Tatalda's not saying much. She's just watching everything that's going on from a distance. The bitch of Battle and Alex get everything ironed out.
Nice.
Timeline hasn't changed for when the dragons get here, but it has for when Tiamat's dragons and minions get here. They'll be almost immediate.
Yeah.
Done through folding, dimensional folding. Troops are in the city, like, I mean, instantly. So Gordon tells you that he's contacted a few people to let them know what's going on, and hopes, chosen few, in hopes that they can convince the people that what we're doing is the right thing. He's like, I know that's a hard sell for some. It's going to be anyway.
I don't know if I should still go and talk to all of those people. What do you guys think? Say that to Gordon and Lily.
I think it's still important to get them out of the city.
Yeah.
I would hate for them to be cannon fodder.
Right.
Or
I
get
agree.
caught in the crossfire.
I agree. I'm supposed to go to the Dwarven section, the Elven section, and the Marketplace.
Marketplace is pretty much empty,
Okay.
so it'd be the Dwarven and the Elven. But when you guys check on it, it looks like they are cleared out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right.
Emmett to save the day.
Yeah, right?
There are a few soldiers, but that's it.
Okay. So that's no worry.
Right.
Nice.
It's like the same amount of soldiers on the walls there is for the City of Beacon's soldiers, the Red Riders. And
Yeah.
others that are staying. There's a skeleton crew left behind. For now.
Well, at least there's that.
Probably 10 hours before they'll be pulled out, you're not sure. You're not sure what's going to happen. If you want to know militarily, you have to ask somebody like Alex or somebody. Or,
Right.
You know, you have to ask them what are they planning on doing, what are they doing, you know. Because the mages are gone. Most of them. Not all of them, but most of them are gone. So, the bitch pleasure, she tells you that she'll need someplace to stay.
Here in the city?
Yes, of course. If this is the place, that is fine. I just would require and need some place while this is going on. A place of protection, of course. I don't ever get in combat. My skills are in other areas. They are not in the brutish arts. Blitch of Blades kind of nods like, yeah, no shit. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
And then she tells you that they lovingly call one another the names that people call them.
They started it.
Yes, but she goes, I'd much rather be known as the Empress of Communication. You know, truthfully, if that's what you would call me, I would be very honored and proud. That's what I tell everyone.
I remember that.
Oh, they all know me in the lower planes, you know. I'm sure that there's less than 6 degrees of separation between myself and you.
What do you mean?
If one can build a network large enough, they can mark 6 degrees of separation, meaning that there are 6 people separated between you and I. And that's all. That no one knows. And now you and I know.
Right.
Oftentimes that makes the 6 degrees much shorter for others that you will gather information from and about. And she turns and just kind of looks at the whole room. So, yeah. What should I tell you that you need to know? Prince Sin is a tick.
Oh yeah?
Yes. Egotistical, self-righteous, dignified to a fault. Yes. He has the skills to back it all up, too. It's not as though he's being fake about anything that he is. But anyway, it's quite common for those in power to use it against those that do not have it in our society. He just seems to take advantage of it in ways that might be questionable or disgusting to others. Like helping someone's family to get them to do what you want them to. Ridiculous.
Manipulative.
Yes. Kill their family. That's what you do. Of course, everyone knows that. But not him. No. Everybody's like waiting for the pin drop or what's the fucking joke, and you realize that she's not kidding.
She's serious.
She's
She's
serious.
serious. And she kind of looks over and she looks back and realizes there's something socially kind of weird, and then she kind of looks at everybody for a second. She's like, and she laughs, and you're like, oh no, I caught you.
No.
You're fucking crazy bitch, aren't you? No, you don't know, but that's what happens.
Okay. Well. Huh.
Damn, she's creepy looking. Sorry. She is.
Just her face in 4K.
It's as big as your upper half of your body.
Yeah,
Your head.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, new artwork. Good job. Chikala and I have leveled up.
Yeah, for sure. So, should look at her. Do you know of any other Neo in the city?
And she kind of looks at you funny. She's like, you don't know.
No.
Oh.
Do you?
Well, yes. Well, I know rumors. I hear rumors about things. You, Emmett, this gentleman over here, if that is who I think it is, he's the guy always resting or something of that nature.
The rest.
The rest, yes. Yeah. There are rumors about others, but why do you want to know? She smiles at you. I was just curious. Because you want to know your people? You have an affection for your kind, or?
I suppose.
Interesting. I hear that your kind used to join together. That is how you created consciousness. Are you full, or can you take more? Because if you can take more, or some can leave you, then you and I are very similar. And she just kind of looks at you. Everyone's possessed by something, and she smiles.
Goodness. fuck? That's what she's thinking. She's like, what are you talking about?
So I would assume that you have everything that you need going with the city shutting down, and we'll know when
Yes.
to leave and all of that. So there are a few individuals, besides yourself. Of course, your band. I would love to meet them. Miss Morrissey, is that her name? And Jamal. I would love to meet Jamal. If ever I had the chance, she says.
I might could arrange that when this is over.
That would be wonderful, dear. See, I knew we would be good friends. And I know you feel leery, and I understand. At least you don't have to hear them. She smiles at you. I deal with those friends, the ones in my head, and then I deal with you. Though they're separate.
It's gonna be exhausting.
Yeah, it keeps one on one's mental toes, so to say. I try to stay busy. It's kind of like a drug. After a while, there's so much information that passes through that I'm not even sure what I've taught them or what they've seen or what they know. But I know what I know. If that makes sense.
It does.
So you intend to stay here in Beacon through the battle?
Yes, what I am here to do is help relations between ourselves. That is my duty given to me. And that I assume what that means is to tell you the things that you might want to know that I know, which is a lot. We could sit for hours, you know, having tea, having wine, eating sandwiches, watching young boys dance, whatever. Whatever it is you'd like. I find that the most distracting entertainment around you is the best way to keep you focused. You want lots going on so that you can focus in close. A sort of barrier of protection, so to say. Vorus is very good at this. He's able to enclose a room. And it gives you a form of protection even though you're under his spell. And you can actually do things under his spell. It's just a strange thing. Are you familiar?
Vorus.
Yes. A bard extraordinaire from Volskar.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yes, talented individual.
Very talented.
I've seen him do some amazing things. But yes, nonetheless, I tend to think that that is the best way to do business. Lily's probably thinking, I like it quiet, you know, get concentrate. She's saying the opposite.
Lily is what we would call a introverted extrovert.
Gordon looks over at Zira, and he's like, we should probably check on the military and make sure everything's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was code for something.
Huh?
That was definitely code for something. She's like, okay.
Lily's like, yeah, I feel like we should be doing something besides sitting here. Wow, this has been very enlightening.
You're more hands-on.
And a pleasant surprise, thank you.
Of course. Oh, aren't you sweet?
But yeah, I feel like I need to get off my ass and go help.
Yeah.
See her eyes kind of change again, and then she looks at you, and they look at you, and they say, why have you not conjured from our area? You have the energy and power.
A little bit of fear.
Would it help for you to know that your father used to?
Yeah.
Back when your father and mother were very questionable in morals, they both dabbled in certain things. We know of them. You will do what works, what is best. For your survival. That is all we do. And you see him kind of go back to her. She goes, of course, we all do that. That's what I do. Not much different. They don't serve a lord, they serve themselves, she says, and looks at you. They are not attached to any lower plane. Any more than I am. Any longer. Yes. I am what you call a cambion. But that name and connotation brings on to it so many ill intentions. I am a being. Yes.
It does. No judgment, Aryz would say and smile.
Lily would start the sentence with demon tongue
Okay.
and finish it with devil tongue.
Okay.
And she would say, yeah, right?
I speak devil, I don't
Oh.
speak demon.
Trying to get my shit together. Sorry, give me a sec. I fucking lost it. There it is. Abyssal demon and infernal devil.
Okay.
And where exactly? Where exactly would I be summoning you all from?
Mm-hmm. She kind of stops and looks at you and she goes, oh. She says that and then she goes, they both come from, well, they all four come from different places, but two of them from the abyss and two of them from the hells. I've interpreted this for them, of course. Like speaking it out loud. It's interesting to know, and she says in demon tongue to you, it's interesting to know that you speak this tongue. You understand
The devil part.
devil tongue, so you don't understand what she just said. Before, you just understood half of it.
Yeah.
I'm full of surprises.
I knew that you would get along with me, like I said, with us. I knew it. I figured you would. And looks at you, and she looks at Gordon.
Just smile. Like I said, no judgment.
She says, if I'm making anyone dizzy or sick to the stomach because of the amount that I talk and the things I talk about, please let me know. I've had that problem before. I don't want it to bother anyone. And he goes, oh, I thought I was getting hungry. Gordon and
Zero.
Dira walk out.
Yeah.
Hattie gets up and Gorgon goes with him and they go, we're gonna check some things out. And they go out.
They leave Aryz and Lily there.
Aryz and Lily,
Myra Tatalda.
Myra, Tatalda, and Mal are all there, and the Bitch of Blades and the Bitch of Pleasure, and then the rest. As soon as you go out,
Mm-hmm.
Gordon teleports you to the ship, so you guys are on the ship.
The zombie.
Pull out a teleport rod and use it, just look at you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nobody's sneaking
So-
out behind me. with
No. So let's go find out where everything's at. And as you're up in the ship, you can see
that. Wait,
that.
that's really what you wanted to do?
Yeah, it is. I just didn't want to go alone.
I got you. Okay.
You can see that there are already dragons and soldiers in Beacon.
Okay. That was quick. That was fast, wasn't it?
And they're appearing in different locations still.
Okay.
There are so many troops. Like, you just see troops lining the streets and going on the walls, and you're like, what? Very lawful in formation, very precise. They know exactly what they're doing. They all go to the locations they're supposed to go at, arm the things they're supposed to arm, like the scorpions that are up there, they arm those. And then you start to see dragons at like just about every peak in the city. You see dragons. You don't see any giant-sized ancient dragons at all. To the visible eye, you don't see anything like that. But there's lots of other dragons. A lot. You don't know how many,
Wow.
but they're flying everywhere. Different sizes of different colors. It's like being in a swarm of dragons. They're just everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's these dragons.
Aryz is with her.
I mean, Zero.
Yeah.
And most of them have riders. It's insanity to you. So there's a total of about, like I said, 150,000 troops that are in Beacon and outside Beacon, and hundreds of dragons. Hundreds.
Goodness. Yeah, I'm glad they're on our side. Yeah, she says that out loud.
I am as well. Lots gonna change.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Back in the nest, they leave. She goes, I hope I'm not running anyone off.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. We've all just got lots of responsibilities. We do. We don't usually sit in one place for very long anyway.
Well, please don't make me keep you. I'll find something to do. We'll find something to do. She looks at the bitch battle, who nods, or bitch blades, who nods at her. And she says, is there anything we should check out in the city or anything we should know?
Well, I was just trying to decide, would you be comfortable just staying here? I can't really offer. My apartment, my house have both been emptied, so it's not really a place where you would want to stay.
Of course.
There's no furniture, there's no food,
Are
there's
there
nothing.
any inns?
Give me 1 second. Okay. She'll telepathy Gordon and she'll be like, what about the heroes' headquarters for them to stay? We're not staying there.
Okay.
Is there furniture and food
Sure.
and stuff there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I just don't know where else to put them.
That'll work.
Alright. So she'll say, you can stay at the heroes' headquarters. It's down.
Wonderful. So we've got what? Probably 25 hours or more before the enemy reaches the city?
Yeah. Roughly, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was asked to come and support and help, so perhaps I can convince people to go to protection. You know?
Yeah.
Could do that as well.
That's
But I
what we
appreciate the
said.
offer of a place to sleep in case I need to. We'll hang out.
Absolutely.
I just thought it would be good for all of us to get to know one another, but of course I'm not going out there with you. I will stay somewhere safe, where I'm needed, and she will help. So, yeah. that sounds good. So you get her to the hero's headquarters. How are you gonna get her there? A teleport rod?
Yeah.
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 I was
Okay.
gonna tell Celia, hey, I'm gonna take these
Okay.
two to the headquarters.
All right.
I'll teleport over there and then we'll come back to you. I need to coordinate with Alex and I need to get my butt busy and start summoning.
Oh, so when you get there, she's like, oh, so this is where Steph faked his death. The
Yes. Yes. And then it was rebuilt. Nobody's really stayed here. Not much.
I've never stayed
Yeah,
here.
I've never stayed here.
I've been here once,
But
capture. Oh, interesting.
but come on.
Well, this will do. It looks wonderful. Thank you so much. And she looks at the bitch of blades. She's like, yeah. She goes over and checks the living room out and stuff. She continues to stand there. She's like, so, if you need anything, let us know.
for sure.
And before the time comes, please, let us know if it's earlier than it should be. All right, so that is where we're going to stop for this evening. Of course, we were close to the time. I know you knew, so it's been a crazy game. Wow, what the hell, right?
Right?
You find out that you're not the hero necessarily, or you are, or your perception of it's differently.
The bad guys.
You
How
kind of
did
the
that
bad guys.
happen?
What happened?
Perception.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you guys for coming. We had a blast. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Keep it going. This community is such a wonderful community. We love this community. We've grown pretty fast in a short amount of time. It seems like everybody kind of works together and helps one another, and we're all connected, and there's so many genres. There's, cosplay, musicians, miniature painters, tabletop players, video game. I mean, it goes on and on. I'm sure I'm missing some out there, but we thank you all, this community. Thank you for being involved. We should all work together. We know that, like on tabletop side of it, Critical Role is very famous. There's enough people in this community that if we all supported one another, showed the connection and power we possess, we could make it where we all can create content and be secure. So like, subscribe, and share if you want to join, or send us a DM or a message or something about working together, teaming up. Let us know. Thank you all so much. I'm Pahu, and this is OriginalGM.
There's a gift inside your God's granted me, a vision of the way to change reality. In the shadows creeping, get rest your weary head. No time for you to sleep now, or evil it will spread. So gather all your friends and listen to my tale. Adventure story shaping magic and the veil. Dragons, devils, demons, and creatures that I fear, and heroes of the known. Just please don't be scared. The heroes are the monsters to the enemy. It all depends upon the way that you perceive. Original GM, we're here to set you free. Come join in the adventure. Who you wanna be? Who you wanna be? We are heroes.